I, all right, welcome everybody. How y'all doing today, huh? Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a blast out there today. I got my cup of joe right here. Boom, I got a whole bunch of stuff to get through today, and we're gonna have to do it quick, okay? Because I got other stuff to do, people. I got like a whole life outside of this kind of crap, if you know what I'm saying, okay? But I hope you're doing good. Check in with yourself. How you doing today? You know, you got that fire stoked? Are you excited to get out there and do something today? I don't know what the hell you're gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm getting ready to make this fire pastrami. Okay, now tomorrow I'm gonna do that Sunday fun day thing, and we're gonna make the pastrami. All right, we're gonna start making the pastrami. And I already went to Costco. I got me 2 big fatty briskets, man. I'd show you right now, except they're still mooing. They're out there in the refrigerator, still mooing right now. They're big too, big bad boys, because that's what we got to do. And so tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how to like butcher that. You're going to cut off the flat, separate it from the point. Oh, don't even worry about it. I'll tell you what it is if you don't know. I don't expect you guys to know as much as me. That's why I'm the expert. I'm the expert on all these things, you know? Really, I'm not. I just fuck up a lot and then try to fix it, you know what I'm saying? And make it taste good. I tell you, the first couple of briskets I made, they're pretty good, but some people said that they were a little bit shoe leatherish. No, I'm just playing. They were great. They were great, but they weren't going to win me any competitions. And doggone it, I got to win some competitions. I got to get a blue ribbon here and there. You know what I mean? That's what I'm really after. Get a good old blue ribbon. But so anyway, tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how to do that. We're going to trim all the fat off. And, you know, you can do this with all kinds of other meat, not just brisket to make pastrami. You can wet cure or brine cure, as they call it, anything. And it makes it fantastic, okay? One of my other things that I want to do is I want to do some of that, I want to salt cure some charcuterie board. It's Italian meats. You know, like capicola or gabagool or, you know, all those fun words to say. And you basically get that piece of pork, you put it in salt and something else in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks, and then you hang it to dry for a couple of weeks, okay? I mean, even months. Some people hang them for months, you know what I mean? And then you go to Costco and they give you like a couple of little tiny pieces and they charge you 20 bucks for it. Have you guys seen that? Like when you go to the store, have you gone to your grocery store and they got these like nice, you know, fine Italian sausages or whatever, like boar's head or whatever it is, all sliced nice. And there's like only 5 pieces in there and it's like 20 bucks. And you're like, what the hell, man? You know, you got to have like 2 or 3 of those if you're going to impress a lady. If you're going to have her over and have a nice little champagne or wine and charcuterie board, trying to show her that you're a little bit, you know, cultured, as it were. You got to stick that pinky up when you drink, you know. That's what we got to do, guys. We got to, you know, that's the kind of women we want around, right? We don't want these ladies that are just pigging out in a McDonald's bag, you know, snorting or rooting around with their nose. I don't know. Maybe that is what we want. I don't know. I don't know how it is where you live. I'm just saying. Where I live, they don't have many teeth. Okay, that's what I do first. I check to see how many teeth they got, and if they miss more than 2, I throw them back. You know what I'm saying? Because there's too much for me to deal with. You know, I'm not trying to rehab a meth addict, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, I got too much in my life going on. Okay, doesn't matter how crazy they are. You know, it doesn't matter if they. How good the blowjob is when they don't have any teeth. I can't be doing that, people. You know, I got goals. I got a life to live. All right, well, you know what I'm saying. Enough funning around with that right there. You get what I'm saying. But all right. So a couple things I want to get to, and then I want to talk about this Schizo Sean thing. Okay. Now, if you guys don't know who Schizo Sean is, I got him right here. I've drawn him a couple times. That's the bunny man. The bunny man that runs around with Riley, and it's a hot topic right now on the old Twitters. You know what I'm saying? On the old Twitter news. It's a hot topic. He went and crashed Chrissy Mayer's content hotel, and he got kicked out. We'll talk about that in a second, though. First of all, I wanted to get into some of the intellectual components of today's conversation, of this live. You know, I'm not just try to be entertaining, but we try to wrap it around some sort of sophistication. Again, going back to that elevating your lifestyle through creativity and curiosity and making more of your life than just a fucking pig rooting around in a McDonald's bag. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that happens though, all right? I've been there. But I tell you, my thing is Wendy's, because I like their French fries and their Frosty. Those two combos together, I'll just pig out on that all day. I mean, who wouldn't? And if you hadn't done it, get over there and try yourself some. Don't be a loser, okay? I'm not saying you're a loser. I'm just saying if you hadn't had some, you better get over there. All right. So what were we talking about? All right. There's 2 channels on YouTube that I've been fucking binge watching lately. Just addicted to, okay? The first one is this fella, he's called Professor Hamamoto, all right? I've been watching all kinds of his stuff, and he talks about the behind-the-scenes power network and how society's really shaped. He talks about all kinds of things from the entertainment. He likes to say he's a forensic anthropologist or a cultural forensics professor or something like that. And he really is. He's got a PhD from I don't know, somewhere, but he was a professor down at UC Davis, and then he was actually taught at the UCLA Film School for a year before they put the kibosh on him. And he's got a lot of really good insights, talks about all kinds of wild and crazy stuff. And I'm not talking about just the stuff that's like, oh, are you some sort of conspiracy theorist and you believe in aliens that come down from the moon and they bring the best cheese in the world and you make pizza with that cheese and then when you eat it you turn into an alien and you go home on the mothership? I'm not talking about that crazy shit, okay? I'm talking about the real deal stuff. Like, I'm talking about the stuff where he says, hey, you know what? They've designed entertainment to ensnare a whole generation and then shape the way that they behave. And here's how I know they did this. Here are the breadcrumbs to show you back through time, back through the 80s, how they came in and changed rap music to make it into what it is today in order to shape the black culture and then the cultures around that. He also talks about the Asian influence and a lot of things, and it's fascinating, okay? So that's Professor Hamamoto. Now, I'll put his information in the description and stuff like that, and you guys go check that out, man, because, you know, this is the real stuff that you can intertwine into a story that gives a story a real bite, if you know what I mean. You know, it's not just a consumable, formulaic story. And I know everybody out there is talking about comic books and, you know, if this one's worth it and if that one's worth it and all that bullshit. But, like, how do you really put value into a story, right? You have to make it multiple, have it multiple dimensions, multifaceted story, so that you get something more with each read through, okay? And you make it able for the reader or the viewer to participate in the story by adding their knowledge and their experiences and then resonating with the truth that you're talking about. It's quite a fascinating study in itself, the idea and the concept of storytelling and how it's a two-way street with the reader and the author. Same thing with art. Art works the same way too. But I love that kind of stuff. And what we're talking about is social shaping, social engineering, right? But, you know, you can engineer or shape or whatever for the good as well. You can put out the truth that resonates with people so that it edifies them. Now, one of the things I'd want to say is, in everything, the easiest way to measure if something is good or bad is, does it take power from you and give it to an institution? Or does it give you power based upon your intrinsic quality as an individual? Okay? That's the differentiator for me. That's what is the determining factor if something is like propaganda or real art. You know, does it transfer the energy and the power to me as an individual, and collectively we make up the truth, the absolute truth? Or does it take it away from us and enslave us with an institution or something else, or a group of people or one person that has a relative truth? You know, it's one thing for us and one thing for them. You know, I like what's good for the goose is good for the gander kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's Professor Hamamoto. He's got a great YouTube. Check it out. All kinds of crap in there to figure out. Okay? Then there's another YouTube that I really love that I just recently found, and it's called Predictive History. And it's with Professor Jang. And it's J-I-A-N-G. Professor Jang. And he talks about social systems on a large scale. when I mean large scale, I'm not talking about the size. I'm talking about the abstraction of thought. Okay, it's a generalization of thought, because quite often when we dive in to try to understand something, the details are what really obscure our understanding. They're like the leaves of the trees that get in the way from us to see the forest, so to speak. And I've watched a couple of Professor Zhang's YouTube videos. One is about like the origins of evil and secret societies, or how power acts, like, you know, how it evolves and how it performs. And he said one thing that really hooked me, and he was talking about how power evolves, and what they do is they create this concept of a taboo, you know, something you're not supposed to do. And then within a secret society, they break those taboos, and that joins them together through the breaking of the taboo and the fact that they have to keep this secret, and it creates group cohesion. Okay, and that group cohesion enables them to absorb and establish a greater base of power within the overall society. I thought that was fascinating. When you're writing a story, when you're talking about a story, these are the kind of generalities that you have to use as the bedrock for your story, people. And then out of this comes fantastic characters. All right. Now, I recently saw that they were asking Eric July or something, "Oh, bro, when you're putting in work to make a universe, what comes first, the character or the universe?" And he was like, "Oh, yo, motherfucker, the character comes first. That's how it is. That's how it be. That's how it do be, y'all." And I was like, how retarded is that? Because, you know, the character doesn't come first. What comes first is this, environment that the character then grows up into, and the pressures of the environment shape that character. And the only thing that makes that character interesting is when they make strange choices or unique decisions within that environment, that they choose to go the other way that the majority of people go, and then that makes that character a hero. You see what I mean? And that makes that character interesting. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's boring, right? It's a formula. A boy grows up. Boy loses dad. Boy has hard time. Boy becomes hero. Boy conquers the monster, and then the boy lives happily ever after as the new king of the people that he saved. Bro, ain't nobody got time for that, all right? We want to know the down and dirty, right? We want to know the nuances of, like, what did he do? Did he make a backroom deal to backstab somebody to ascend to power? And he's trying to keep that hush-hush, and really that dread is eating at him the whole time he's in power, until eventually his son figures out that his father isn't the man who he said he was, and his whole life is shattered, and then that sends him on this journey. Bro, that's some interesting shit right there, right? That's stuff that I want to know about. That's stuff that I want to write about. That's stuff that I want to draw or create within the comic, right? That's what's going to give you value in your story as you go on. It's not this fucking stupid stuff, you know. Throw that away. That's why some of these comics and some of these stories, they don't have lasting power. And then there's other stories that do have lasting power, and that's because they're rooted in these cultural systems, right, that we're all swimming around in. Okay? So think about that. That's the Predictive History channel with Professor Zhang. Speaking of fathers, right? Have you guys seen this this lady and this guy at the Phillies game? You know, they hit a home run into the stands, and this guy, he runs over and he grabs the baseball and he takes it and he gives it to his kid. And this lady, who's pissed because she was trying to go after the ball too, runs over to the guy and nags him until the guy freaks out, and then snatches the ball from the boy. The boy's like 10 or 11. Snatches the ball from the boy and gives it to the woman to appease her, so she can go back and be happy that she got the baseball. Bro, that is some wild shit right there. In a nutshell, that just crystallized the problem with Western society right there. Destroy the children to appease the older woman who is consuming an experience. That she's only concerned with consuming that experience. And there's a lot of people out there and they're saying, hey, leave her alone, don't destroy her life. Well, you know, her morality showed on the biggest stage that her life should be changed, and she should have pain and consequences in her life so that she can change. She can have the opportunity to change. Where were the crying people when the young men for the Duke lacrosse team were falsely accused of rape, and I shouldn't say that, and all of their entire lives were destroyed because of it, right? Do you guys remember that? The Duke lacrosse team, and then it came out later that this girl made it all up? How crazy was that, right? How crazy was that? So this actually goes back to what we were talking about earlier with Professor Hamamoto and the Predictive History channel, talking about systems within society and behavior models and how it all works together and why these things happen. All right, so all of that's fascinating. I was thinking for a moment that, you know, that poor boy, he learned right then and there what his father's all about. He maybe have had this great image of his dad as his hero, but then it just gets shattered in an instant because his dad yielded to this nagging woman, and then now it's gone viral. What do you think is going to happen to that kid when he goes to school? Everybody's going to know that his dad yielded to that woman. Why? Because of fear? Well, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? That's not good at all. Okay? So then, finally, I want to come down and I want to talk about Sean. Oh wait, did I show you guys my? Before I do that, did I show you guys all my pickles? Check these out. All right, these are all my pickles that I'm making for that pastrami. This is the first version. I got a couple of different recipes from people. Here's another one. Okay. So if you have any pickle recipes, send them to me. Post them in the comments or follow me on X or whatever, and then send them to me, okay? Then I'm fermenting some too. Check this out. I got some fermentation going on in here, okay? And I got another one over here too. And I just got some of those lids right here, some of those silicone burping lids, okay? And just doing that, you know, just doing that, trying to have fun, because listen, these kind of foods, it might seem like it's simple, but it's not. It's refined, because we're trying to make all the accoutrements. That's how you say it in French, accoutrements. That's right. Don't let the hillbilly accent fool you. We can speak a little French around here, and sure as hell we kiss French. So what's up now? So we got the accoutrement going on. We want to have a banging sandwich when we make this bad boy in 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know how long. It's going to take 2 weeks for the pastrami to cure, and then we're going to smoke it the next day. So that's what's going on with that. All right. So if you have any recipes, send them over to me, okay? All right. Now, I want to get into this Schizo Sean thing. We're doing good on time. We got 19 minutes going on so far. James, I got the clock right over here, bro. I got the clock, okay? Right there. I'm watching. I see you in the chat. You're just breathing down my neck, and I'm saying, hey, what's up? You know, let me say what's up to my people out here. We got on the John out there, what's going on? We got James out there. We got Trips out there. We got Cut the Grass 07 out there. We got Alan out there. What's up to you? We got Crackus out there. What's going on? All my people, how you guys doing? So great to see you. So happy you're here. I really try to jam-pack this in and speak consistently so I don't waste your time. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but when I watch these YouTube videos and people just have these intros that are like 5 minutes, I'm already like, dude, next. Or when they're sitting there and they're telling me stories and leading me around in all these different mazes and everything, and I'm like, bro, get to the damn point, okay? So I respect James on that one. James, I hear you. Get to the point. I appreciate that. Your application's almost being processed. We're going to try and hire you over here as the production manager, lead production timekeeper over here. Anyway, I want to jump up here real quick to talk a little bit about what's going on with Sean. Okay, so we got right here. I got a little camera 3 going on with me in the corner, and I'm going to pop up right here. Hold on a second. Let me get the right button. Oh, there I am. Okay. Now check this out. Now you guys know Schizo Sean, right? This is him right here. And if you haven't given him a follow, give him a follow. He's a good fellow. And he's been doing all kinds of stuff with Riley and all those guys, running around wreaking havoc. And he's really an agent of change, and we love that, right? We love an agent of change. And of course, we got what he did. He showed up at Vito's house, and him and Vito had that nice discussion, you know, and Vito wearing his blue shirt. And that was a couple weeks ago. Well, just recently, he went on down to the Chrissy Mayer Content House, and I don't know if you guys are following that. Hell, I wasn't following it. It was so fucking boring, I wasn't following it, you know what I'm saying? And so then he goes down there to shake some stuff up, and, you know, he even told him, hey, I'm just down here, you know, to record. And he told him who he was. He wasn't trying to be undercover or nothing. And so he goes down there, and he got kicked out, right? They kicked him out right away. Well, after one day, they kicked him out or whatever. And they got kicked out by Keanu and Gino, you know? And then, okay, so that's bad enough, right? We're saying, we're all yelling at him, give him a refund, give him a refund, give him a refund, and all that stuff, right? Because he paid for VIP tickets, and he was there for a long time. Or he was supposed to be there for the whole duration of the time. Well, anyway, so today what they decided to do, that's Gino right there getting drunk, and so he was knocked out on the bar. And if they say they kicked out Sean because he drank too much, well, I mean, hey, everybody's drinking there, right? Sean's just a good old guy, just drinking a little bit, just like everybody trying to have fun. Isn't the whole thing the point of it to make content? Well, anyway, today what they're doing is they're putting out his driver's license. Bruh, can you believe that? They're putting out his driver's license. They're doxing him because he paid to come to an event. They asked him to leave. He left nicely. He didn't put up no fight or nothing. He didn't have no undercover camera. They took his glasses. They did all that kind of stuff. And then they kicked him out. For what? And now on top of it, they're starting to put out his personal information. They're starting to threaten him like they're going to release his information. This is a threat right here, people. I'm looking at my screen right here. That's a threat right there. Over this side. That's a threat right there. You see? That's a threat. Bro, if you're going to get people's personal information, you have to protect it. The onus is on you. What kind of person do you look like if you're going to go ahead and divulge that to the internet with all these who knows who, you know, people out here that are fucking crazy, that are shielded behind anonymity, and you go ahead and you snatch that away from him? Isn't this the guy that just participated with Aaron Steel Toe Imholt in snatching away Nick Rekieta's wife's dignity? Didn't he just do that? Isn't he complicit in that by saying that he still has her news on his phone? What the hell is that all about? And then on top of it, he's going to go and do this? Bro, not a good look. So that got me all upset, right? So then I'm thinking like, okay, so what's the point of the content house if somebody comes to shake things up? You know, like we all love Ethan Ralph, right? You see Ethan Ralph, he goes over there to Colombia. He just had a little run-in or whatever with them Colombian people, and he punched a guy in the face. And then he got kicked out. I can understand why he got kicked out because of violence, but you know, they made the content first, right? So at least let Sean make the content first and then kick him out, and it's good for both of you. Don't they have a business bone in their body? Shouldn't they talk to Rippaverse and help him run their business here? He's a businessman, right? So what's going on with all that, right? So anyway, I thought that was crazy right there. And that they wouldn't even have the balls to go do that. Look, we got everybody retweeting it. We got Mersh talking about it. We got Crimsel talking about it. We got Sean talking about it. We got everybody talking about it. We got Gino down here just being the retard that he is. Bro, Gino is being proven to be just like that dad at that baseball game. No spine. Right? Ain't that what is going on here? No spine. Gino, as the man, should have stepped in and said, hey, yo, we shouldn't be doxing this guy's information. That's a line too far. Sure, we can kick him out. Sure, we can make fun of him. You know, that's all in good fun and making content. But we shouldn't put out his personal information. You know, that's terrible. Okay? That's terrible. All right? So, what I was going to say, you know, we'll come back to one if we can. What I was going to talk about is I'm over here, and you know I like to do this thing where I make fun cartoons and whatnot. And I'm looking for something real quick right here. I do this thing where I like to make fun cartoons. So what I was going to ask you guys to do is to help me out. All right. So this is the latest cartoon I made with Aaron, you know, Aaron Imholt. And I made it for Scarface, okay? Now Scarface was having a dust up with Aaron Imholt, and Aaron Steel Toe Imholt, the genius that he is, started threatening that he had a dossier on this fella, and he was going to release it. He was going to dox his information. So, you know, me and Scarface were chit-chatting, and Scarface was saying, hey, could you make me a cartoon? I'm like, hell yeah. All right? That's how we fight back, right? Isn't that what it's all about? It's all about parody through comedy. right? Isn't that what we're doing here? Isn't that what they're supposed to be doing? Aren't they comedians? Aren't they supposed to be telling the truth through comedy? And aren't they supposed to be sarcastic and do a parody of people that they're trying to get back in line socially? You know, aren't they supposed to be the jester in front of the king speaking truth to power? Isn't that what this is all about? So I was going to say, hey, if anybody has a good idea, because now I'm going to start doing cartoons about Gino and Keanu in favor of, like, obviously we got Clip out here, we got, you know, we got Sean out here, we got other people out here, and we're going to support them. We're going to make, you know, some cartoon parodies that speak truth to power, because I don't appreciate them doing this. I wouldn't want anybody to dox me, and I'm sure you guys wouldn't want anybody to dox you. You know, that's just crazy. The way that I look at all of this internet business is it's just entertainment, man. I don't take none of it personal. None of it's real. You know, when I need a break from it, I just turn it off, you know. This ain't even like my life or anything. I'm busy doing all kinds of other stuff, and then I have a good time getting out my social, you know, excitement on air with you guys. And, you know, it's been a lot of fun to do it. Then I expect people to bust my balls too, right? People are going to make fun of me, and I'm going to laugh it off. People have already made fun of me. They make fun of my drawings. They make fun of my art. They make fun of me. But it's all in good fun, right? I just laugh about it, right? I make fun of Ripa. You know, we make fun of, like, Aaron, Steel Toe. We make fun of, you know, every once in a while we'll make fun of Vito, you know. But it's all in good fun, you know, and I expect that they'll make fun of me. I've had people making fun of me already. I got Paul out there. He's making funny memes about me, and it's fun. But it doesn't give me the right to dox anybody, okay? That's coming into the real world, trying to put the consequences that I am a judge and jury on into somebody's real world life, okay? Forget about that. That's wild. Forget about that, okay? So if you guys have any good ideas or anything like that, go ahead and post them down below in the comments, or you know what, you can find me on X, Ray is Happy. If you're not already following me, you can either DM them to me, or you can just tag me in it and say, hey, this is a great one. Like, I've already gotten a couple really good ideas. Because, you know, Chrissy Mara stole all those sweaters from the Christmas party that they had for Compound Media. And that was pretty funny. Everybody was talking about that for a long time. Red Bar and Mersh and all kinds of people were talking about it, right? And so, of course, that's going to be in the cartoon. And some people have already told me, hey, what about, you know, so-and-so is going through his pockets stealing his money, then Gino's stealing his ID, then Chrissy's stealing his sweater, and so on and so forth. And that's pretty funny. So I'm going to take these ideas, and we're going to put them up in a ball, and then we're going to refine them, and then we're going to put them out with some cartoons and try to make, you know, a little bit of ammunition on Sean's behalf, because he was wronged in this situation. And we don't like that, you know. We don't like that at all, okay? So anyway, let me take a break here, take a little swig. Check on everybody in the chat room, see how we're all doing out here. Hey everybody, how y'all doing out here? Now I got my my damn resolution all changed, so it's all small, so I had to check in and see what everybody's talking about out there. And you know, and also the other thing, I've been working on trying to get my new setup, and I do have a new setup. I just have to set it all up and install it. You know, I got the new software and all that stuff, and I really want to have people on and talk to them, and I want to do it at live like I'm doing right now. And right now I'm running my live through a Blackmagic camera switcher, which I like, right? It's cool. All I have to do is push one button, go live, and it goes live. I'm not running it through my computer at all. And then I plug my computer into the Blackmagic box. And but I was trying to figure out how the hell can I interview other people. So I was doing it with Discord, and I was running Discord through my computer onto the Blackmagic box, but it dumped all the audio. And I was like, damn it, it dumped all the audio. So now I got a new software setup and a new thing. And I realized my problem was the fact that I was trying to do all this on a 2017 laptop, right? I got a MacBook Pro from 2017, old school, vintage, right? So that was my main problem. So I figured that out, guys, okay? So all of that's coming. I just got to set it all up today or tomorrow, along with all the other crap that I got to do, all right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to get James on, and we're going to talk to him about what the hell is going on over there in England, right? What the hell is going on? Have you guys been seeing all this English stuff going on? Where the English people are trying to put up English flags, right? And the police and the government's going around tearing them down. What the hell is all that about? And that's really the last line of rebellion that the English people can do in an orderly situation, in an orderly fashion, before they get violent. I bet you guys heard about Gums. You know, another guy. He was posting things on X that was critical of the English government, and then for some reason he flew over to England this last week. And as soon as he got off the plane, they arrested his ass. Bro, that's some wild stuff right there. That's wild, right? That's some international situation where your social media is crashing into your real life, and they're arresting him, man. That's crazy. We can't have that. We can't have that. I don't like the way that's going. It ain't supposed to be that way. And actually, that goes right back to what we were talking about at the top of the hour when we were talking about Professor Hamamoto. We were talking about the other channel, Predictive History, with Professor Zhang, and we're talking about social systems, right? Social systems that the elite are imposing upon us as the crowd, as the general public, and that we're being trapped in. So you got to learn about those, because that stuff's coming. You got to learn about it, right? We're already in it, really, but you got to learn about systems. You got to quit focusing on instantaneous things like events, and then instead focus on the system that's generating the events, like a like one of those you know, at the grocery store, those conveyor belt. You know, it's like the conveyor belt of the system is producing all these events and pushing them down, and we're focused on the events. And what we really should be doing is being focused on the conveyor belt, because we got to change that conveyor belt so it favors us more. Else we're in for a shit sandwich, you know, an all-you-can-eat buffet of shit sandwiches. And if we're looking at England and Australia and Canada, bro, those are some examples of craziness going on right now, right? All the Indians going on up to Canada and, you know, basically shitting everywhere, and then and that's not good, right? And then all the things going on in Europe right now and in England, and you know, they're subsidizing all these immigrants coming over to their world, but they won't let them even put up their own flag, and then if they criticize it, they get locked up. And then, you know, down in Australia, the crazy stuff that's going on down there. And it's interesting that they're all united under the crown. If you didn't know that, they're all ruled by the crown. That's very interesting. And then, you know, there's some other things creeping into America. Like Trump was making a couple of laws that if you are anti-Israel, they're going to go ahead and not let you qualify for some sort of insurance or reimbursement or national recovery funds if you have a disaster. Hey, they'll make a disaster. You bet they will. So, you know, we have to be aware of these systems if we're going to avoid them, because it's easy to avoid them. However, if you're not aware of the system, you're going to end up on that conveyor belt eating those shit sandwiches as they come down right into your fucking face. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be doing that. And I know you don't want to be doing that either. So let's go ahead and avoid that. And that's one big reason why I started cooking. And I was talking with somebody the other day, and I was saying, you know, there really isn't a restaurant within 30 or 40 miles of me that I would want to go to eat, you know. There isn't. The fast food is going up like crazy. $15 for a hamburger, fries, and a Coke. Bro, get the fuck out of here. Hell no. You know, I got some In-N-Out down the road, and they're ratcheting up their prices, you know. Then I got just other fast food that I wouldn't even dare eat. Like, why would you eat this fast food that's basically chemicals? Okay? That's all it is chemicals. All right? The chicken nuggets, man, they ain't real. They're just like, they could be lab meat, bro. You don't know. There ain't nothing on there telling you what it is. I saw that McDonald's was going to try to bring back their $5 value menu. How the hell are they going to do that if the price of beef is soaring? You know, I'm buying hamburger at $5.89 a pound right now. $5.89 a pound. It used to be 99 cents a pound. And brisket I just bought was $5.87 a pound, right? And when I first started buying brisket, it was $1.25 a pound. Okay, and I could buy 3 or 4 briskets for $100. Now I get each brisket's $100, people. All right, but you try going out and buying a brisket sandwich like at a Cat's Deli or whatever. You tell me how much that is. It's gonna be this fat ass sandwich like this, and they're gonna charge you $25, $30 for it, right? So I'm still ahead because I'm making it at home. So that's what I say to you guys. You guys got to really start to focus on this. Make your own food at home as much as you can to save the money and to improve the quality of the food that you eat, right? Because, man, I was watching some people that I know at the shopping center or whatever. You know, I'm going through, I'm picking up my whatever I'm getting, right? And I'm looking at other people's carts. Do you guys ever do that? Are you ever cart watching other people, you know, looking over to see what do they got, what do they got, what do they got? And it used to be like, what do they got? Because like maybe they got something good that I didn't think about that I got to go get. But now I'm looking at other people, I'm saying, what do they got, what do they got, what do they got? Because I'm like shocked at what it is these people are eating. It's all processed food. It's all flash frozen bread, flash frozen pizzas, flash frozen whatever, fake, you know, chicken nuggets, dino nuggets, fish nuggets, congealed meat, no real food. It's all boxed and packaged. None of it's real food that you would go and you would find at a farmer's market. And for the Americans that have never been outside of the country, it's not like this in other countries. It's not. In other countries, you can go and you can buy food like from different stalls or whatever. That's actual real food that they cook right there in front of you, and then you get real food. Real produce, real meat, real everything. It's not frozen. It's not ran through a factory. It doesn't have thousands of preservatives in it. It's not garbage, okay? And I remember I was over in Taiwan, and I'm, you know, gone through Europe, and I've been through other places. But the longest time I've ever been overseas is in Taiwan for like 2 years. And I remember when I came back, I missed the food so much, man. I missed it so much because of all the variety of flavors and so many options that I had that were very inexpensive. And I could say, oh, today I feel like a pork bun. And I would go down and get a pork bun for like $1.25 or whatever. And then I would go over here and go over there. And, you know, they even had American food there. Like they had a TGI Fridays right there in Taipei. And I live smack dab in the middle of Taipei, bro, on the very top of a 9-story building. On the top of this 9-story building, the person who owned the apartment, whatever, nice lady, super nice lady, she owned this apartment. And she broke the apartment up in, she owned the whole floor, and she broke it into 4 or 5 rooms, and she had international students staying there. But then on top, she built like her idea of a penthouse, right? And all it was a tin shack that she built on top of the roof of this 9-story building, right, in the middle of Taipei, okay? And so that was what I rented, this little penthouse that was really, it was just a tin, you know, it was made out of, you know, tin, like metal. And I remember I was in the middle of this fucking storm, and I thought for sure the thing was going to be snatched off the roof and blown away, and I was going to be done for. That's how loud and violent the storm was. And I just kind of laid there on my cot, and I said, God, if you take me, I'm going today. I'm going today. And I was laughing about it because I thought, oh, all my struggles as an artist, all that pain is be over with, and I'm just going to go on up to heaven right now. But obviously that didn't happen, and I'm still in the midst of the pain and the struggle of being human and trying to create art and, you know, trying not to eat shit sandwiches. But anyway, what I was saying was, when I would come down out of that penthouse, I would have all kinds of options of food, even like fresh shrimp with like soy sauce and Thai chilies, and you would dip them. Or you could even go get fresh raw squid. You could even go to the TGI Fridays and get yourself a hamburger, and I did that sometimes, you know, but you know, it just wasn't as good. They did, however, have one Mexican restaurant over there, and I was gonna go, but you know what, you had to make reservations 3 or 4 months in advance. Can you believe that? 3 or 4 months in advance to go get yourself some beans, some cheese, some tortillas. But it's funny because the Taiwanese people love all those cultures that are like foreign to them, and so they'll line up around the fucking block and 3 months deep in order to get themselves a sopapilla or something like that, you know. Some chips and salsa that are mid. I remember they even had the pizza over there, and I tried the pizza, and it was so fucking bad. It was terrible. But every time I went with the people that I knew, my friends, they were always so happy to take me the pizza, and they thought it was fantastic. And I saw the happiness in their eyes, and I just couldn't crush that. You know, I just couldn't crush it. I was like, oh, this is great. Oh, have more pieces. Have more pieces. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't eat anymore. And I was like, damn, I can't wait to get out of here so I can go eat some of that raw squid. You know what I'm saying? The pizza sucks so bad. Bro, I'm telling you, don't eat American food if you go to another country. Eat whatever their food is because they're great at it, okay? And it tastes fantastic. I can't get over these people who try to go to other countries and eat at a McDonald's. What the hell is wrong with you? If you're going to Japan, go get yourself some Japanese food. Don't get McDonald's. Come on now. You guys know what I'm talking about out there in the chat. Is Brandon Harris out here? Goat Kaboom. I'm talking about you, bro. I know you're going to Japan soon. Don't be eating at McDonald's, but I know you wouldn't because you like that Japanese food. You're a good fella. I get you. I get you. All right. So anyway, that's about all I had to say today, and I just wanted to wish you guys well, and I want you guys to have an awesome day today. Think about what I said, okay? Look into these other YouTube channels. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I'm just trying to better myself and understand what's going on in the world around me because I've been sold a bunch of crap about how the world works, and that ain't really how it works. And I've been pushing the buttons and pulling the levers that they told me to push and pull, and it don't do what they said it does. Okay? So I ripped back that panel and realized that there's another panel underneath that panel that's the real buttons. And I'm trying to figure out how to use them. And I want you to try to figure out how to use them too, because that's how you're going to get better in your life. That's how you're going to elevate your life through creativity. That's how you're going to generate energy and become successful for yourself and your family. Let everybody else fucking rot and burn. Let them eat the shit sandwiches. But you and your family, you guys ascend, okay? Go better, do better, eat better, be successful. And with that, I'm going to leave you on out there, and I'm going to say, get on with it, people. I love you. Get after it, okay? Let's go.